separation of church and state.
Mm-hmm.
We're very passionate about that.
Yes, and I can understand. But from what I'm understanding at the moment is that...
Hey, David, just a tip. Make sure you're not running the stream of the show while you're trying to talk to us. Or if you are, just mute it so that you don't get distracted by...
Echoes and delays, right?
Yes. No, I do have it streamed but muted, but I'm actually talking on a mobile phone, so I'm just hoping that comes through okay.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay, that's good. Yes, well, yes, I understand that your position is very much for one of a separation of church and state. Mm-hmm. As a theist, I also have a position that I think it's a very bad idea ever for church and state to sort of be together and sort of be this force of saying, hey, look, we've got a state religion, and the whole population should be obeying their state religion, and I think that's a very, very bad position.
Yeah, I have a catchphrase: the state religion won't be your religion.
Yes. That's exactly right. And religion really is only meaningful if it's your free choice.
Yes.
As soon as something becomes forced, then immediately it's completely pointless and meaningless.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of religious reasons to want church-state separation, and we're kind of amazed that this isn't like everybody shouting from the rooftops, hey, we got to have this thing. But what we see in the United States is we see there are certain groups that have privilege and power, and they don't want to let that go, and they're happy to have favoritism for their particular brand of Christianity or whatever in the United States.
Yes. Look, I was just wondering how you guys sort of see what's happening. There seems to be this movement across all religions at the moment that there's sort of everyone
I doubt that.
Saying, hey, look, we've been arguing for so long, and that we need to all join hands and be together. And there seems to be this very much growing power base in the religious realm, and especially considering next year is actually the 500-year anniversary of the Lutherans leaving Roman Catholicism, and that now next year they actually have signed an agreement that they're actually going to come back together. So there seems to be this.
I really doubt that.
How do you see that?
I would say every time I've heard about some sort of ecumenical movement, it's usually there's a secondary agenda to go gang up on somebody else.
I think it's great if a bunch of people of different religions come together and decide to make peace and join hands and so forth. But what you'll have then is just a new branch of religion that agrees on something that a whole bunch of other people don't agree on. Like, it's never been the case that somebody says, hey, we need a set of best standards and practices for all religions, and everybody gets on board with that.
No, it becomes a least common denominator, a watered down, ersatz thing.
Right. You always wind up with, like, a religious group saying, hey, all the other religious people have got this stuff wrong, and they shouldn't disagree on the things that they're disagreeing on. So let's find some common ground that we all agree on, and they just become another sect of religion. Like, I don't see that being a grand unifying thing, especially when you've got people like, the God Hates Fags Church over
Westboro Baptist Church here in the
the
United
Westboro
States.
Baptist Church, and the Muslim fundamentalist terrorists. I mean, ISIS. I don't see ISIS saying, "Oh, these guys in Queensland can't realize that we're all on the same side, so let's stop being terrorists and just go along with them." I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's Pollyanna-ish, right?
But I mean, I'm all for peace. I'm also all for the right to continue saying that this God stuff is nonsense. So as long as you're okay with that, you know, I'm I'm on board with you doing peaceful stuff and making friends with other people. But that doesn't mean that I will change my mind about your God beliefs.
Yeah.
We'll let you talk, David. Sorry.
I'm really on board that we can continue this, you know, this discussion. You know, not right here, right now, but that we're able to talk. And if that's to be the case, then it's really important to me that you are able to talk as much as you need to, so that I can listen. Because unless it's two-way, then we can't talk. And one thing that sort of has me a little bit concerned is there seems to be this religious movement happening. Or may not be religious, or it's political correctness or other things like this. It seems to be shutting down the idea that we can converse with each other. You know, you don't want to offend or something. Now, if we're going to talk, yes, we might offend each other, but that's okay. I have no problems with that. But if you say something that offends me, at least maybe that's an opportunity for me to learn.
I don't.
And then, unless I have that opportunity of freedom to not just talk, but freedom to listen when you talk, then to me something very bad's happened.
You also would agree that other people have the right to be offended by you, right?
Yes.
So I don't see how them expressing that offense prevents you from still saying the thing that they found offensive. It's just, I mean, ultimately, it's always your choice whether to say something or not, with the awareness that some people might be offended by it. I know that we on the show say stuff that offends people all the time, and they let us know, but we still do the show.
Yes. Oh, well, I mean, I've been watching the show for a while, and there's some things that you say that I find offensive. But at the same time, you say very many things that I find very, very interesting. And if I've got to take a mixed bag with that, then I don't want to lose your input. I'm a theist, but I find your perspective on things and input very valuable. I'm watching your show fairly regularly. I learn a lot of things. And to me, this is very important. But yeah, I would just sort of like to say that I'm a theist, and I really believe that I want this separation of church and state, because I believe that that's important for us to be able to continue our dialogue, which I think is very educational. If I can't continue to learn, if I can't continue to listen, I've lost something valuable, and I want to protect that for all of us.
Sounds great. We're on board with that.
Sure, I'm for that.
And this idea of keeping the communication channels open is a good thing, and that's a big part of our show here is our interaction with our callers. And there aren't very many forums where you get these constructive dialogue between different sides, and that's something we value very much as part of this show, and that's why we've been doing it for almost 20 years or something now. It's quite a long time now.
Yes. Well, look, I might just leave it at that one thought today. I'll ring up again, and I've got some other things I'd like to
that'd be great,
about
David.
and whatever else. But I just really wanted to say, look, I really value the communication. I really value the separation of church and state, and thank you very much for it.
Great.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling.
Okay. Well, I'll see you next time.
All right. See you, David.